Hi y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. As we are well into December and I still haven't updated my calendar. I'll work on that after this. Okay, so we're going to talk about something that I hope will clear the air and some of the misconceptions out there for job seekers. So I want to tell you a little bit in my experience, based on the managers that I've worked with in the last 2 decades, how hiring managers view direct job applicants. Okay? So this is obviously very limited data that I'm working with. This is solely based on my personal experience, as well as what I have seen, witnessed, experienced, heard about, talked through with lots of other people in the last 22 years that I've been in this industry. There are 2 things that I can confidently say are true from my perspective and what I have personally myself witnessed and tracked and learned. Number 1, hiring managers love qualified applicants. We're going to expand on this, but I think it's a fair statement. I have never in 22 years of recruiting ever had a manager actually say, "Oh, that person applied? No, I'm not interested anymore." Never. Not in 22 years, y'all. I've never had a manager who would otherwise be interested in a person's background change their mind or be less excited because the person applied. That is never, in 22 years, thousands of managers probably, if I think about, from the start all the way to where I am today, never happened. The second thing I know for sure, there's a lot of so-called hiring managers on LinkedIn who are, telling you that, maybe direct applications aren't the way to go and networking is where it's at and you should do that. And the thing I've noticed, those hiring managers have side hustles as career coaches. Now, I'm not suggesting to you, dear friends, that a person can't have a side hustle as a career coach. I would never say such a thing. I kind of do. I don't make any money. I don't charge you guys for anything. But I guess you could call this my side hustle, right? Anyway, just saying. I think it's fine. I think there are people who have tremendous expertise that you all would benefit from. And I think that a great career coach who can actually help you create a viable plan and really hone in on the things that are going to get you where you want to go can be very valuable. I just find it interesting that all the people that I know of who try to tell you how worthless applications are people who financially benefit from you believing that. I'm just saying. You can show me data that says otherwise. I would love to see it. I haven't done an exhaustive search for this mythical person who doesn't believe in applications and doesn't benefit from saying that to you, but maybe they're out there and I just haven't met them yet. Feel free to introduce us. Okay. So how do hiring managers look at direct applicants? Now, I want us to assume that all of these people that we're going to talk about all fit the role. Okay, we're going to assume that they are qualified, that they have the necessary skills, that we believe with the information we have in front of us today, that they can do the job. Okay, so let's start with internal candidates. So I'm going to say internals and then also referrals. I think these two They're not the same bucket by any means. I don't mean that, because obviously internals already work for our organization. Referrals are typically someone who knows someone who works for the organization. So there is kind of that second level connection. So this may be like a first level connection. I already work here. This is a second level. I'm somebody who works here who would recommend said person. So these can be great sources of hire. The challenge with these is, of course, we need those people to be interested. Like, they have to express interest. They have to actually be willing to take our call, go through the interview process, whatever that looks like. Sometimes it's streamlined for internal folks. But the interest needs to be there, right? So it always starts with that. Like, is this person throwing their hat in the ring? We typically cannot go and engage with internal talent. That's called poaching. And it can be frowned upon. So we do want, internal folks who recognize a new opportunity within their same company to make that connection. You should be reaching out to us. You should be letting us know that you're interested, scheduling an informational chat with the hiring manager, what have you. So that's great, can be a great source of hire. Same with referrals. Like, somebody needs to actually still pull the trigger on the referral, but it starts with that person being interested. It starts with that person wanting to be considered for the role. If you're dragging your friends kicking and screaming and throwing them into the referral bucket without checking with them or asking them if they want to interview, that's not the best look, right? So having either of these people actually interested in the role is pretty critical. There's also the potential for bias here, honestly. If we start hiring too many people who look like us, that's a problem. That could be gender, that could be racial, ethnic, that could be, everybody here went to Ivy League schools. Like, these are problems. We cannot kind of keep hiring the same people over and over again, because then you're really running into some significant bias concerns. I'm not going to talk anymore about that. It's not what this video is about, but just something to be mindful of. So we want to do this somewhat cautiously, being reasonable, thinking about DEI. Then we have our sourced candidates. These are people, of course, that we have gone out and found. So my sourcing partners are, literally out there pounding the pavement, calling, emailing, texting, tweeting at, finding people who could fit the role or fit the criteria. And we're, again, talking them into it, or we're hopefully convincing them that this could be a great opportunity. So I want you to pick up on something here. So both of these categories, or all three of these categories, really only work if the prospective candidate is interested in the role. You know who else is interested in the role typically? This might surprise you guys. This might be earth-shattering for some of you. More often than not, this isn't true of every applicant, of course. We know not every application is equal. More often than not, when someone has expressed interest in a role by applying, by uploading their resume, maybe asking for a referral, maybe reaching out to a sourcer that called them 6 months ago, who knows, all different kinds of ways. People who have expressed interest save us a shit ton of time up here, you guys. Okay. So here's what happens. Okay. So going back to my hiring managers, what do hiring managers think of applicants? Every time we bring a candidate to a hiring manager, they will say, did they apply? Y'all, the answer they're hoping for is yes. Because hiring managers are usually hiring managers for a reason. And it's because they have been trusted and empowered with the honor of building a team, of building a company. Being a hiring manager is a big freaking deal. And it comes with a lot of responsibility, and it comes with a lot of ownership, and it comes with a lot of, there are some great things about it. It's growth, it's people management, it's really cool stuff, but it's also a lot of responsibility. It's growing the careers of people on your team. It's hiring, the best possible talent that can fit this specific problem we're trying to solve, and bringing people who want to be here into the org. Hiring managers love it when people are applying to their roles. And I will tell you something else. If our applicant pool is too low, or our pool is too small, our flow is too low, I guess is the right way to say it. If we have a bunch of applicants that are just not hitting the mark, like people are just not qualified, but they're applying anyway, every single hiring manager I've worked with has asked me this. Can we talk about my job posting? Is there something I'm saying wrong? Do I need to change it to attract a different kind of person or someone that fits the role better? Like, what can I do to make this better so that I'm getting the right direct applicants? Do with that information what you will, my friends. But I'm telling you right now, and I said this on LinkedIn last week, and it actually got me blocked. You can't handle the truth. But I did say this last week. We will always start with our applicant pool. This, obviously, agency recruiters hate this because, their bread and butter sometimes they think is based on being able to find the unfindable. They forget that the actual entire process of recruiting is a full-on service that they should just be better at instead of worrying about finding people that can't be found, because that's not where your value lies unless you suck at recruiting. Anywho, finding people is easy. It's the engagement that's hard. So that's what I want to leave you all with. Again, everything I've ever said to you on this channel or on LinkedIn or anywhere else you may follow me still stands. Apply for roles that you are qualified for. Reach out to your trusted network in tandem. Ask for those referrals, ask for those insights, ask for introductions if it makes sense. But y'all, if you are expressing interest in a specific role, I promise you that hiring manager loves to see it. We'll see y'all next week.